remarks, and then we'll open it up to your questions.
Thanks for coming out, guys. Just wanted to open up by saying thanks to the President Moorhead, and Greg McGarity, and the athletic department staff, the faculty on campus. A lot of people had a lot of help and a lot of hand in helping us out, especially with a short turnaround to get ready for this day. And thank our players, who I'm looking forward to getting more hands-on with those guys, getting with them. They've done a great job. To the prospects who come in on the visits, of helping us sell our program. A lot of them tough on our players because they don't know our staff that well. Obviously, the 6 mid-year enrollees were critical for us to have a successful class because they could sell us as a staff probably better than our own players could. Because I felt like the 6 mid-years kind of held the glue. Keeping Jacob a part of this class was critical. Showed momentum, showed confidence in our program and the University of Georgia to keep him, Coach Chaney keeping him involved. And then obviously them blending with our current players in the recruiting process helped a lot. Today, for me, for you guys, may be about stars and rankings. To me, it's about new Bulldogs, new members of the family, and making sure these kids understand what's important to their success is graduating and becoming great players and becoming productive players as a whole. And that's what this class will be judged on. You know, how productive are they 4 years from now? And then walking across that stage and getting a diploma. But I'm excited currently not only about the class, but about filling some needs that we needed, but also about now it's time to move on and start developing the players that are here and getting to have a better relationship with them and getting in the off-season conditioning program. With those comments, I'll open it up for questions.
Kirby, you said out there earlier with the fans that you weren't really concerned with numbers so much, just the quality. And is it still hard to say if there's 3 or 4 more out there besides these 17 we already have that could possibly sign?
Yeah, I think it's always hard to say at this point. You know, you'd like to get a few more, add a few more, but we're not in desperation mode by any means. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a panic mode. I'm completely comfortable if we end up anywhere from 18, 19, 20, 21, anywhere in there. I'm good with that because I'm not going to rush off and make any reaches. I think it's important in your first year to have those. And we've also got a relatively small expectation in our class for next year. So to have those spots available for next year when you get a full recruiting cycle, I think talk to a lot of guys that have been in a similar situation I've been in. The mistake they made was to try to fill holes or fill spots. And when you do that, you hurt next year's signing class, which I anticipate being one of our better ones because it's our first full recruiting cycle. So yeah.
If you have a question, raise your hand. We get one of these floor mics to you.
Kirby, you said since the beginning that targeting players in the state of Georgia was key. What was it that convinced you so early on that that was what you guys needed to do?
Well, first of all, when you look at the production of players in the NFL, a lot per capita, you got the state of Georgia is very talented. So I was at a Macon event yesterday for I guess it was the state champions and the region winners. And when you look across the board, the quality of coaching the kids get, the programs in the state of Georgia are really, really good. And you look at all the rosters in the SEC, that's the one common theme is that every team in the SEC is coming to the state of Georgia to get players. So it's critical for us to be successful to get good players out of our state. To say you'll get them all, I don't think that's realistic. It's not realistic. It's a state that's attacked by so many because it's got Atlanta and it's got a network to get out and go to the other places. But obviously that's important to us, critical to our success. There'll be needs we have each year which we may not be able to fill in our state. So it's not to say we're only going to go recruit our state. We got to go out to Florida. We got to go out to North Carolina. We got to go to other areas and go get needs, just like our quarterback. You know, I mean, you got to go find what you need to try to fill voids there.
How difficult was it for you, coming in December and convincing those 6 mid-year guys to, still enroll early with a completely different voice than what was here with Coach Rick?
I'd say it's challenging. Of those 6, thinking back, I'm sitting here thinking I knew and had a relationship with, I guess probably all of them except for the quarterback. 5 of the 6 I had either met, seen recruiting, knew from the summer, had come to our camp at the University of Alabama, so I had some relationship with me and they knew of me. So that helped to have somewhat of a bond there. I think those guys, it also shows a little bit of a credit to the rest of the staff that remained, the guys that were here already and stayed, the support staff. They had a lot of relationships in the building with guys from coming over here a lot, so that helped tremendously. But obviously going in those home visits, it's a little awkward at first, and you're trying to sell yourself and sell the program, which is easy to sell here at UGA, but I think those 6 staying in place gave confidence to the rest of this class that everything's good, everything's going to be okay.
With Jacob, now that he's been able to acclimate a little bit to campus life and all that, what's been your first impression of him as the student on campus, maybe compared to what you knew about him in the bit that you were recruiting him?
Probably a hard question because I haven't been on campus any. So, I mean, I've been out recruiting, flying around in the helicopters, doing all the bit, trying to recruit. So, obviously, I've communicated with Jacob. We've had some academic meetings. We're catching up to speed now. So, he's acclimated well, doing a good job in his classroom, and we're holding him to a high expectation as a leader on this team.
Kirby, you talked a lot about getting deeper and bigger on both lines of scrimmages. Do you feel like you've addressed it? At this point, it doesn't look like there's a lot of numbers right now in that class on your 2 lines of scrimmage.
Yeah, I would definitely say that getting bigger is a goal of ours. We want to get bigger up front on both sides of the ball. I would say we most certainly have addressed that on the defensive line. And I think when you go to the offensive line, it's not exactly, we want some offensive tackles. If you said, what's the number 1 need going into 2017, it's going to be offensive tackles, what we need. I mean, that's the most efficient area on our front guys. But I think if you comb the country and you ask every SEC coach, he's going to say we're most efficient at offensive tackle because it's the rarest find. You want a 6'5", 6'6" kid. They don't grow on trees. Those guys are just difference makers, and you've got to try to target those early. And a lot of those relationships are already established. They're being established now in 2017 and 2018. So when you come in, that's one of the toughest positions I think to recover at, and that's one of the toughest positions to have that one-on-one relationship that your O-line and your head coach wants to have with players. So that's probably the most, the area I would say if you're most disappointed in is on the offensive line. We got to improve the offensive line. I'm very pleased with where we are on the defensive line. We got some good young players, and we're trying to continue that. And a lot of times, if you can just recruit size and good football players, you leave yourself open to other areas on the offensive line.
Kirby, going back to Jacob, obviously you said you haven't spent a ton of time with him, but he's going to get a lot of pressure, a lot of outside talk about being the guy in his first year. What kind of conversations do you have with him, or have you had with him about that?
I think some of it came up during recruiting, that the pressure's not on Jacob, the pressure's on me. You know, I'm the first-year head coach, so the pressure's on me, Coach Chaney, to protect him. No pressure on him, no expectations for him. He's coming straight out of high school for mid-year. He's going to have 15 practices. He's going to have 27, 28 practices in the fall to get him ready and prepare him. We got to put him in good situations, and we got to be able to run the ball if he's the guy. You know, we don't want him coming in thinking that he's got to come in here and win this job. There's, you know, some other guys here too that played some football last year. So we've got to find what the best remedy for offense is, and that'll be very important in spring practice. But to say that it all falls on Jacob, I don't think that's the case. I would rather take that burden myself.
Kirby, what's it like to be on the other side of going up against Alabama? You guys won some, you lost some in terms of head-to-head with them, and where'd that line bulldog come from? Who was that?
I have no earthly idea. As far as Alabama, I don't think that you look at it as a head-to-head. I think you look at it as a relationship with a kid. And I certainly think they look at it the same way. You know, they've got relationships with the kids they sign. We've got relationships with the kids we sign. We both got great things to sell. The University of Georgia is a great place, and that's when I go see a kid, I'm selling the University of Georgia, our program, our development, what we can do, and that's enough in and of itself, which proved true on several kids in the state.
Coach, after today ends, what's next on the agenda for you and your coaching staff?
Get our hands on our players, you know, get into the off-season conditioning program and get around those guys, spend more time with them. We can even start some meetings on some football stuff. As a staff, we're starting on quality control next week. I'm really looking forward to that because that's the part that I enjoy most is the relationship with the players, not the chasing and not the recruiting part as much as the guys that are here, building a trust and bond with them and convincing them that the core of our team next year is on this campus. And we've got to develop that so that we can be a good, productive football team.
Coach, you said during your introductory news conference in December that when you were preparing for Georgia in October, that the lack of explosive players on the perimeter was something you noticed. Is that something you feel like with these three that you address?
I certainly hope so. I think the experts could say, but I don't think anybody knows. I really don't. I don't think you ever know until you get them out there, you get around them. I think we got a lot faster. I Obviously, Tyler is a track kid that can really run. We think he's an explosive playmaker. Where Miko ends up, who knows? He wants to play DB, but who's to say he can't touch the ball some kind of way? He's done a really good job of that throughout his high school career. Von Wims gives us size that we didn't have. He's made a lot of plays at a probably more competitive level than the other kids we've signed, being he's a junior college kid, so it makes it, good for us. And you got Riley Ridley, who competed at the highest level down there in Miami against really good players, and I got to see him firsthand in camp this summer and know what kind of competitive fibers he's made out of, and he'll compete and fight you for the ball. So let's hope that they at least increase the competition in that room, and if you increase competition, sometimes you increase production, and that's what we're hoping.
Coach, you mentioned the mid-year guys coming in. What about just the waves of assistants that you were hiring throughout this process and what they did throughout these last couple of months?
Yeah, I can't thank these guys enough. I told the staff upstairs, no matter how this thing ends, no matter what happens in the next, 2, 3, 4 hours, I couldn't be prouder of the effort that guys put forward. The weekends, the demands they put on their families. A lot of them are, a long way away from their wives and kids, and they grind. They got kids in here, push themselves over the weekend, spend a lot of time with these families. I'm really pleased with the staff I was able to assemble. Not only the staff, the 9 full-time guys, but the support staff, where everybody's involved in recruiting, everybody develops relationships. It made me feel better when I went out into the homes, even kids we didn't get, that said, Coach, y'all did such a fabulous job on your official visit weekends. I felt important. I felt like I got individual time with everybody. That, to me, makes me feel good when you talk to people and they know you're doing it right and you're doing it the right way, and our staff did a great job of that, and we're going to continue to look at it and improve it and find out what we could do better.
Kirby, following up on Mark's question, was it in any way awkward recruiting against Nick Saban and trying to tell kids why they shouldn't go to Alabama?
I don't recruit against Nick Saban. I recruit for the University of Georgia. And I've been with him for 9 years, and I know he does the same. And that's why I have the utmost respect for him, because it's never about him or about me. It's about University of Georgia and about his university. So to me, it was never a personal thing. It was never I've been with him. I know how he recruits. I'm not going to sit there and attack him or his character when he's got 4 out of the last whatever national championships. I don't think that's a way. You sell what you have. You sell your strongest points, and that's what we sold in recruiting. It was never an attack on him, because I know he's not going to do that to us.
Kirby, there's some things that Miko can do that other guys can't. What made him so attractive in recruiting as it relates to that?
I tell you, the kid's got an unbelievable personality. All you guys in the room that's ever met him or know him, he's got infectious personality that he affects everyone around him. And to me, that's one of the critical aspects on your team, is can you positively affect each teammate each day? And I really think this kid can. He's going to bring about a competitive attitude on the field. He's coming in to challenge for a job. And he's got work to do to develop his body, and he's got to lift, and he's got to work out and get stronger to compete at the SEC level. But now, you can't tell him that he's not ready, because he believes he's ready. He's got confidence, and he's special with the ball in his hand. He wants to develop as a DB. I think the marriage between he and Coach Tucker is critical, because Coach Tucker is a great developer of DBs and can teach Miko a lot of things that he needs to learn as far as playing defensive back. But yeah, he is special with the ball in his hands. And when you go across the state, you kind of talk to the high school coaches. That's a lot of people talk about his ability to affect the game. And I think Tyler gives you that in a lot of different ways too. When you look at Jim Chaney's history, he's got a history of really being able to use guys like those guys. So it made it a good sell for us.
What went into the decision to sign a punter, and what does your place kicking situation look like heading into this year?
Great question. Scared to death is what it is. But the decision on the punter was, in my history, I've found that you can find more quality kickers through the walk-on route than you can quality punters. And after sitting down, sharing ideas, talking to people in the NFL, and people that have experience even at the college level, we felt like as a staff that it was going to be harder to manufacture punting than it would be field goal and place kicking. So obviously we felt like it was the right route to go ahead and offer a punter that we thought was very reputable and does a great job and is very held in high regard across the country as punters go. So we feel like he can fill a void. He can fill a void for 4 years and be a really good one. And then at field goal kicker, we want to find out what we have here in the spring, because we really don't know as a staff exactly what we've got. We'll find that out in the spring. We'll also try to get some guys in here, whether it be by way of transfer or be by way of third walk-on. We're going to try to get the best kickers we can to make that a competitive environment so that we can improve the kicking game and essentially find a guy that can be the field goal kicker for us, because it's a little scary coming in, even for Shane. He's going, wait a second, we don't have a punter, we don't have a returning snapper that started, and we don't have a field goal kicker. That's a little overwhelming, but we didn't want to commit a scholarship to a kicker as of now. We'll see how that goes.
Kirby, you talked about Miko being ready to play, and it seemed to
Well, I said he's got to physically develop and get ready to go to work. I don't know
Right.
that he's ready to play.
Right, but I guess that the trend is that definitely in the last 10 or 12 years, I mean, these guys are more and more ready to play physically. How are they mentally as far as adapting from the pomp and circumstance of being the go-to guy to then they come in and they're low man on the totem pole?
Yeah, it's a tough adjustment, for all kids. I don't know if it's exactly right, but my theory has been kids that come in early and focus on getting ready to play have usually been a lot more successful their first year than kids who wait till the end to decide. And there's been a big difference, because the focus for guys who are committed is on getting ready. The focus for the other guys is how I'm going to make this decision and how I'm going to make a big splash and how I'm going to trick people. So to me, the guys that get that down early and get focused on what they've got to do to grind and play, and they see it, they usually have a little more success, because it's less of a de-recruiting process for them. So we obviously want every freshman to contribute. We obviously know that every freshman probably won't be able to contribute. But a lot of that will be dictated by fall camp, the way things play out for us. Injuries have a lot to do with that. But the physical development in the SEC is a great challenge. But if you're going to play as a freshman, it usually comes easier at skill positions than it does at the O-line, D-line, because the physical development is usually so different.
Coach, concerning support staff, where have you completed all of that? Are you still trying to fill a few more positions as far as people that are staying over from the previous staff? I mean, can you kind of shed some light on that?
Well, the staff is a continual process.
Okay.
It's not something that's just like, okay, we're going to be done by this date. It's constant. A lot of places want to get through signing date so guys can then move after signing date, hold their spots. But we have more support staff to hire. That's kind of the next thing on the agenda. Some of those issues were not pressing for recruiting, so the time dedication for me in the last 2 or 3 weeks was all in on recruiting. Now this time dedication moves to our team and getting our team better, which includes some of the support staff roles. So we'll have some more to hire. Specifically which ones, I can't tell you that exactly right now, but we're going to have a few more guys come on board in the next coming weeks.
Kirby, in regards to Warner, the tight end, how versatile a player recruit is he? What all kind of things you think you're most with your team?
He's another one. It's a great example to me. This kid commits early. There's no drama there. He decides to come to UGA, and going back to my days in the past over at University of Alabama, we watched this kid for a long time. He's a talented kid. What exactly is he? He is a utility player that can do a lot of things. I mean, he's 240-something on 245 on his visit here. He's getting bigger. He runs track. He's played defense. He's played offense. He's not a guy that's looking for the high-profile situation. All he wants to do is come in and play and compete. So we're excited. I'm excited because having gone against Jim Chaney's offense, I know the kind of way he uses players like that. I watched him do it with Hunter Henry. I watched him do it with guys at Tennessee. He'll find ways to get the guy the ball and put him in unique situations for his body size and matchups. So, I mean, we're obviously excited about Charlie.
Kirby, how have the last couple months been for you in terms of adjusting?
Chaos.
In terms of so much time in front of the camera, in terms of all those things that you weren't necessarily having to do for the last 10 years or so?
That's been the least of my worries, to be honest with you. The camera is not, to me, it's the time constraints, trying to manage the situation I was in, dealing with the whole recruiting process, hiring a staff, trying to win a national championship and contribute to the players that I had. But we've kind of been there, done that. We've been over it. I'd be honest with you, the last 2 weeks have been a blessing in disguise because I get to go out and do what I love to do and go recruit and see all the relationships I've had over the years and have people, say, hey man, you've done it the right way, you were patient, you see all your mentors, all the people that I've had relationships with through my dad or through recruiting. That meant more to me, and go out and trying to sign the kids, so I was comfortable with that. But as far as the work hours and the demands and the stress level, I think that it was a great start to be doing all that at once, and now it feels like it's easing off because you had the pedal to the metal to start out, and it was obviously challenging to do the stuff early on.
Kirby, another kid just picked y'all. I know you probably can't talk about. Y'all flipped 2 kids today. How I guess sort of how'd y'all do that, and then how stressful is that asking guys to turn back what they've done?
Well, recruiting is a constant process. I mean, when your kid's committed to you, you're the target. Okay, he's not committed to you. You are the target, and you have to know that. So, I mean, every one of these kids has been committed to us. You got to stay on the phone with, continue to talk to, because people don't see the commitment as it's over. Until a guardian or a kid says, "That's it, I'm done, I'm through talking." So, a lot of those kids that you're talking about, I had a relationship with, or a personal relationship with, for the last 3 and 4 years. So that relationship was close enough, and the opportunity I was allowed to give them to come to a great university and sell this place. It's a great academic institution, a chance for life after football. That kind of won those kids over. You're talking about with the flip. So to me, it's more about selling the University of Georgia to kids, and we did that to all kids. I mean, you're going to strike out 10 times to get 1 guy, 2 guys. It's just the law of averages. So those were just the 2 that hit. That there was a good relationship there. There are many others that we attempted on that you don't get.
I guess
Last question.
I'm sorry. Y'all didn't lose anybody either that I'm aware of. So you flipped and didn't get flipped. What happened?
As far as today, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think again, a lot of those are solid character kids that they don't want to change. They wanted to come to Georgia and staying on top of them. I mean, we're relentless with our coaches. Hey, have you talked to everybody? Have you talked to every kid today to make sure there's no issues or problems? But those kids that were, I guess you're discussing the flip with, I don't even know if they've sent their paperwork in.
Right.
But to me, the big thing there is just having a relationship. It wasn't like it was an overnight flip. It was a continual process of hammering away for a month that there was a relationship developing there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kurt.
Thanks, Kurt.
Kirby.
Appreciate y'all.
Kirby.